Hey, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. The match is going to be tough, I must say. Looking at the atmosphere, the atmospheres at Westfalen Stadion at Dortmund have always been excellent. Just look at the yellow wall over there, fantastic. I think it will be a great experience, playing in this sort of an atmosphere. We have played in hostile atmospheres before, but in that Liverpool match, I sort of thought that it was the atmosphere that actually took over rather than our own game of play. So, so I actually think that it's important for us to play in these kind of atmospheres and learn from it. The squad selection is actually very interesting. He's played Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland up top. Even in the Liverpool match, people said that Pep tinkered a lot, and that is true. He tinkered a lot. But see, there are two things here. The first point is, I I, I do think that it's sometimes necessary, to move around your lineup a bit. You just can't say like an Antonio Conte, for example, just play a 3-4-3 or something and or just play the same rigid formation throughout the season. No, players will get bored. How do you see? The question is, how do you motivate a team that is winning Premier Leagues year after year? How do you motivate a team that is sort of going into the semi-finals, finals of competitions year after year? How do you motivate them to achieve more the next year? This is what you infuse new qualities in them. You infuse new thoughts into the system. The players out there will then feel that they are learning something new. Otherwise, why will people like Kevin De Bruyne, for example, why will people like, for example, David Silva, Kun Aguero, who we thought would go much earlier, why did they eventually decide to end their career at City? Especially with Pep coming in, they had a lot of knowledge being passed on and stuff. So I think it's important to infuse new ideas, and that was the reason he tried that. He tried a new system in Liverpool. That much I can understand. But I do think this is also a variation of another system which Pep is actually looking forward to try in big Champions League games. Because if you look at this formation of 4-4-2, it's actually quite interesting that this is a very good formation to get back in shape defensively fairly easily rather than in a 4-3-3, because you've seen generally we start in a 4-4-3 but then we switch to a 4-4-2, for example, uh, when the transition happens, when we have to do things defensively. So I think Pap is thinking why in big games sometimes the transitions are fairly quick there, you can't respond and get back into the shape. So maybe Pep is experimenting this formation of 4-4-2 for sort of a big games where opponents are against your Bayern Munich, for example, where the opponents are really lethal on the counter. Erling Haaland is there. He is the most lethal on the counter, and he's on our side. Julian Alvarez, I'm intrigued to see. I think there was one match, I think it was against Forest, where Julian Alvarez actually got a couple of goals. Against Forest, it was Haaland, and Pep put on Haaland and Alvarez for the last 20 sort of minutes. So I actually and Pep really liked what he saw over there. After that, he didn't try. After that, Julian Alvarez, everyone was surprised he didn't get a game after what two after scoring two goals. But I think Pep is just looking for the opportune moment to release Julian Alvarez. So he knows that Julian Alvarez is adjusted to this system. He's ready to go. Pep is just waiting for that perfect moment. I expect him to unleash Julian Alvarez in the next part of the season after the Christmas break, when the World Cup is done. Jude Bellingham, a lot of people will be having eyes on him. We played very badly, I would say. We had a lackluster start against Copenhagen. And another intriguing thing is, how will Mahrez play? Is it that combination that really is that is causing the problem, or is it really that Mahrez is out of form? So that's another question, I would say, because uh, whenever Grealish has played without Mahrez, United, for example, United match, he played very well. Whenever Mahrez has played without Grealish, I don't think Mahrez has started many matches without Grealish. So I think this is one of the first times this season that is actually starting a match without Grealish. So that will be interesting. See, always we as a fan base we have always believed that there should be one dynamic winger over there and one winger like Riyad Mahrez, for example. So or Jack Grealish, one who can control the tempo. I do think this is the best sort of a combo. They're going for the toss, Gundogan and Matt Hummels. I think by winning this match, you can actually confirm the top place in the group. If you lose this match, it's theoretically not confirmed, mathematically at least, because Sevilla is still alive, and if Sevilla beat us, that will be 10. I still don't think they can catch us, but maybe if Dortmund defeat us, maybe Dortmund then can have a chance to go top, so that will be interesting. Another interesting thing is he's preferring, Stones has just come back from injury. I think it's been 4 5 days, and he's straight away thrown into the right back position. That tells me that maybe he thinks Sergio Gomez is not yet ready for the stage. And also, Ruben Diaz is another player we have seen play a consistent part in almost all the starting lineups. It's suddenly becoming Akanji Diaz, Ake Diaz, Laporte Diaz. Whereas I thought one of Akanji and Ake will start every game, and one of Diaz and Laporte will start uh, every game with that combination. But maybe I think against Liverpool, Pep has seen that Ake might not always be the best centre back if you want to split open the defense, right? Liverpool were just parking the bus and doing nothing, just scrap trying to hit us on the break. So in that situation, I think Laporte, someone like a Laporte, could have been much more useful. I'm sure that if Laporte had played, we would have won that match against Liverpool. So, anyways, past is past, and we've already got the revenge in that with Nottingham Forest beating Liverpool. City to kick it off here. I don't know, they're waiting for something actually, but are they taking the knee? I do not know. So it's been kicked off. I want to see us play with much more intensity than we did against Copenhagen. It was just lackluster against Copenhagen from the starting. He's given Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne a rest. Rodri, it will be an interesting game. Both the teams looking to come at each other. Oh, Dortmund! It just seems that Dortmund might have broken the lock. It's not offside. It's definitely not offside. He's made the run from behind. It's definitely not offside. And Stefan Ortega in goal. He has nothing to do, but now it's offside. I just thought he had made the run actually before, but anyway, it's good for us. It's offside. But Stefan Ortega is another one we have to have an eye on. Most of our fan base, not most of our fan base, but at least some of our fan base have felt that Ortega deserves a start in the Champions League. That's why he's been bought, and he's now starting in the Champions League. Ederson's distribution, everything has been good, but it's in those vital moments, like you saw against Brighton, Trossard's shot sneaked in at his near post. It's those moments that can cost you the Champions League. For example, Champions League semi-finals, quarter-finals. So I think Ortega could actually, if Ortega does well here, maybe he could be in this competition for the long haul for City. It could almost be like Bravo and Ter Stegen. Bravo starting, and for Barcelona, how they did both the Champions League and the Premier League. So Rodri, Nathan Ake coming into the middle. What kind of formation are they playing? Let us just see. Gundogan is playing in the half space. Mahrez is holding the width. Cancelo is holding the width. That is interesting. Cancelo is holding the width on one side, and Mahrez is holding the width on the other side. I think it's almost a back three. For example, and Dortmund have the ball. Dortmund are on the counter here. Dortmund on the counter. Dortmund have someone to the left. John, engage with him, engage with him, engage with him. That is excellent defending. Wonderful defending there. Excellent defending, but excellent defensive cover, I must say. And John Stones does very well to put a tackle in. I mean, when John Stones is in form, I think he's right up there in the top one, two defenders at City. I actually rate him above Ruben Diaz when he's confident, injury free, and things like that. A lot have to be right for John Stones to be in that mode, to be at his best mental mode. But once he gets there, you can almost sense that he has all the attributes to be the world's best. It's almost a three at the back in the build up, you can sense. I, I, I think you can have a glimpse that Pep has maybe tried to match Dortmund's formation here. Three at the back, they're trying to attack with three attackers, and by bringing in John Stones, it's just matching it up. The role of Julian Alvarez will be fascinating because I think Julian Alvarez will link up the midfield and Haaland. That will be so crucial. And for me, if you ask Julian Alvarez, is I think he's at the level of Roberto Firmino when he was at his best, playing that false nine. I think Julian Alvarez is in that level. A lot of Liverpool fans will not agree with it and all, but Julian Alvarez is truly a special player. Just that we haven't seen much of him in the Premier League. That's it. That's good pressing. Press the bloody goalkeeper. They found the spare man. Dortmund have found the spare man. I think they're almost playing a diamond when trying to build out from the back. Wonderful defensive work from Phil Foden. Nathan Ake there. Dortmund are sort of defending in a they're defending in a 4-4-2. The interesting thing is no, Ake is not playing in the middle of the centre backs, but who is the press breaker here? I have to think it's John Stones. Ake can't. Diaz maybe can, but doesn't have that passing range. Like I think John Stones is the one who should be looking to break the lines here. Rodri is dropping in, understandable. Maybe Gundogan will also drop in actually to help City out, build up. We have built up from the back very well, but that was a useless pass. I thought he'll just pass it to Gundogan and move on, but Ake comes out with the ball. Nathan Ake, Phil Foden. They're trying to draw Dortmund out, but Dortmund is just sitting rigidly in their shape. So Nathan Ake, Jock and Shallow, to Ortega. It's good he has given that pass to Ortega, and look at his distribution. Not as good as Ederson. No one's distribution is as good as Ederson in this world. He's just a truly special keeper, and Gundogan is just trying to pass it between the congested lines, and it's just not going for him. Wonderful work by Gundogan. Misplaced pass at the last moment. Joaquin Shallow there. Could not complete the defensive work, but Nathan, you're very good 1v1. That's not a free kick. Come on, ref. That's never a free kick, and is even given a yellow card to Ake. Why is it a yellow card? I thought that was a fair challenge. Look at Nathan Ake here. He's got the bloody ball. He's got the bloody ball. They talk about the standards of refereeing in the Premier League. What about the standards of refereeing in the bloody Champions League? They have been abysmal for years now. Vinicius Cancelo, what's happening with him? Again, I think it's the positioning, Vinay. Like we have seen against Liverpool, he's just playing high up front, right, on the left hand side. He's almost playing as a winger with Foden tacking in. Just think it's somewhat a new formation here. I think so. Cancelo, I think, will take a bit of time to adjust. That was never a foul. Ake got the ball over there. Stefan Ortega starting, by the way. I actually think that this should be the thing, Ortega in the Champions League and all the cup competitions and Ederson in the Premier League. Because Edison is excellent and all, but just seeing the Brighton debacle, I mean, he let one thing at the near post, right? Just seeing that, I was thinking he still has a little bit of realities there, and that is what could be the difference between you winning the Champions League and then getting knocked out in the semi-finals, for example. So it will be fascinating to see how the game of Ortega goes here. It's definitely not as dull as the Copenhagen game City have tried to unlock. Dortmund City have tried to make those little passes. There is mobility in the front line. The front line will never be static with Haaland, of course, but the moment of Alvarez has also been good. Cancelo just looks a little bit confused here with the instructions. That's almost a very good ball with Cancelo. There's no confusion with Cancelo in the offensive work. Press, press, press. That was good pressing there from Haaland. Nothing, nothing, nothing. That is well done by nothing. But Haaland just looks in the mood here. His pressing is good. The energy from Alvarez is good overall. Nathan Ake. Foden, wonderful skill by Foden. Excellent skill by Foden. And Haaland does extremely well to retain the ball. This is one aspect where Haaland is improved. Surely improved. That is very well done. City are now playing their champagne football. We are just pinging the ball around. Vinay says Dortmund plan clear, frustrate City and hit us on the break and use Jude Bellingham's long passing ability if possible. It's clear, and that's why I think Pep has almost gone with a back three, with Stones joining in whenever, especially in the transition phase. If you observe, it's Cancel on the left hand side, but interestingly, it's Mahrez. Mahrez has raised the hand, and that's a great switch there. Excellent take from Riyad Mahrez. Riyad, come on, we want a goal from you. You need confidence, man. After you missed the sit against uh, Brighton, Joaquin Shallow. That what a touch from Foden that was. It almost seems like it's a sin that no one was there at the end of Foden's touch. What a phase of play that is. That is City at their absolute best. One touch football from one end of the ground to another. That was just wonderful. Riyad Mahrez again. He looks to be in the mood. He looks positive. Didn't get that vibe with Mahrez against Copenhagen. Didn't get it against Brighton. But today, right from the off, you can see he's done little in the match. But you can just see his attitude, Riyad Mahrez, that he's up for it. Is positive. He will run. If there's a penalty, I won't be surprised if it's Mahrez who goes up. That's how positive he is. Joa Cancelo there. Some wonderful phases of play building there on this side, and the cross was just too deep. It's too deep for anyone to do anything. If Haaland can't do anything with the cross, then the cross was not meant to be. Vinay says Cancelo is putting some good balls, and the quickness of play also on the Cancelo side, right? Cancelo, Foden, the exchange between them, Alvarez joining in, even that is excellent. There's something going on that left hand side. I do think Pep will just station John Stones deep on the right side, and on the left hand side, he'll tell Cancelo to just attack. Which means that when Stone stays back, it almost becomes a back three instead of a back four. So he can literally cover for Cancelo going after, and good tactics from Pep. That is very well done. Wonderful, wonderful pass from Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez again. The Dortmund player just gets a foot in. But lovely exchanges again from Riyad Mahrez between Mahrez and Haaland. The rhythm, the tempo suddenly seems to be excellent today. Just seems to be very, very good. Seems City are up for it. Look at the pressing of Julian Alvarez. It's just very intense. Dortmund are also trying to pass through our defense. Look at how quickly we are going back into the shape. It's almost a 4-4-2 or 4-5-1 or whatever. Uh, Close to that shape, which we are getting into in the defensive phase. Nathan Ake. See, Gundogan is just coming so close to Nathan Ake. I think one thing that Liverpool game has taught Pep is Ake is very good in all the aspects, but maybe in the passing aspects is a bit limited. So that is an excellent ball from Ilkay Gundogan. Just pass it forward. Just pass it forward. Phil Foden with the ball. Phil, you had to complete that pass to Cancelo. That was that. I think the pass from Gundogan to Foden was difficult, but this was a rather easy pass. Cancelo was there with so much space on the left hand side. That was the easy part actually. Dortmund are also holding on to the ball well. This is classic example of how it's again playing against a top European team. Can't dominate possession even if you're City. That is again wonderful, wonderful pick out, but Dortmund again retain the ball. Haaland doing absolutely well there to pinch the ball, and Haaland is off. Can Gundogan deliver a ball? Can a ball be delivered across Mahrez? There is space. Switch the bloody ball. Switch it, switch it, switch it. He's done well to patiently to hold on to it. What the hell? Who the hell was that? Oh, Rodri. That was no place to shoot. I don't know why he shot over there. Did he just find the goalkeeper was off his line? I don't know. Vinicius, you are doing silky passing. Exactly. It's just that final pass which is not getting to the attacker. That's it. Otherwise, the passing is just one touch. Everyone is just going with that one touch passing. By the way, did you guys actually see what happened after the Arsenal game? After Arsenal drew 1-1 with Southampton, the Dortmund attacker, but I guess it should be offside. I guess it should be offside. Ortega does very well. Ortega does extremely well. There was an offside flag. Gundogan comes out with the ball. It's now becoming end to end. It's now becoming stretched, but that's a good save from Ortega. Mahrez does well. It's Erling Haaland almost. But the ball again falls to the feet of Ruben Diaz. Rodri. Great switch to Cancelo. Phil Foden now maintaining the width. Back to Cancelo. Back to Ruben Diaz. Gundogan coming in to get the ball. I just think that maybe if a Laporte is there, or even if John Stones plays in the middle, I think Gundogan can. I mean, if Laporte plays in the center of the defense, or even John Stones, Gundogan can go a bit more into the midfield, so there'll be more numbers in the midfield. So I think that's an advantage of having Laporte over Ake. But 1v1, Ake is better than Laporte. So don't think there is that. There is, but it's very rare that you have a perfect centre back. That is very rare. Just like it's rare to get perfect centre forwards like Haaland, speed, physique. Same thing with centre back. So I do think that Pep is looking at the right now is looking at the qualities of a Laporte, of an Ake, and is then deciding which qualities will help me to break the system. But I don't know why Haaland is just going and standing on the left side. He has to be in within the width of the goalpost, right? Wonderful interception. Foden almost trying to intercept, but he just cannot. Been a good game of football till now. Been a very good game. It's nil-nil, I know, but there's not been a dull moment. It's been very, very nice. I think from Ortega's save, he was not offside, he was onside. Ah, that was so close. That was so close. Hamels does very well over there, but that's the kind of openings that City want to carve in. That was so close. Erling Haaland was almost onto that. Just that Hamels just could get a foot onto it. That's it. Ball in from the corner. Ake. Uh, the ball was just ping ponging over there and no one could actually get something on it. Good to see Cancelo there again backing up from a corner. That's good. That gives him confidence after the Salah incident actually. It's good. Pep has again trusted him. That thing. Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan. Wonderful, wonderful ball from Gundogan to Cancelo. Cancelo takes the touch and Cancelo retains the ball. If only that touch was a little bit assured, Cancelo would have been in. Gundogan again. Gundogan's just looking very, very nice. He's looking very, very good today. He's just looking bang in form. Just look at the silky movement of Gundogan over there. He's the wonderful, wonderful nutmeg from Cancelo almost, but the defender was being covered. Natanake, Rodri, Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez, John Stones. Stones is also coming forward now. Natanake again. Dortmund are happy to leave Natanake on the ball. If you see, there's no one actually even pressurizing him. And they're just trying to block his passing lanes off. So maybe I think they have realized that Natanake is not necessarily out of. He's a very good passer of the ball, but out of everyone at City, probably he's the players with one of the least abilities on the ball. Riyad Mahrez there, extreme discipline, just holding the width. Rodri, Gundogan, Alvarez, Mahrez, Gundogan again. He's just everywhere, literally. Riyad Mahrez again. Back to Ake. City are just putting on the squeeze now. Joao Cancelo, Nathan Ake. You can imagine Nathan Ake is almost more than three-fourths of the way up the pitch. You can understand how much of a squeeze we are putting in on Dortmund. This is City at their absolute best. Defenders playing with courage, with confidence. Wingers holding their width. Superb. That is wonderful. Joao Cancelo. Oh, that's offside. Otherwise, I maybe thought we could be in for a penalty this thing, but it's offside. I do think they might check, but I think that's offside. Ortega has had just one save to make, but other than that, I think we have been solid defensively. We have been patient. This is how you actually manage a European night of football. This experience will, the stadium's also not buzzing as much. We have controlled the crowd. This is how you play in a hostile away ground. Vinicius is doing good passing, but not finding killer. Exactly, not finding the final pass. But I do think we will get to that final pass. But look at the passing of Ortega under pressure there. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all, right? We can probably have this guy start for us regularly in the Champions League. Not too bad at all. His passing actually seems very good. He might just be the second or third best passing goalkeeper in the Premier League now. and is sitting on the bench for us. So Gundogan there, I think Gundogan has been the exceptional player. He's been the standout player till now. I do think we need to mix it up a bit. Like we need to play those crosses across the field, switch the play more often than we are doing. Cancelo does well. Individual brilliance. He has to make that pass. The pass was on there. Surely to Foden, the pass was on there. It's just that he just couldn't find the angle of the pass, and the pass got intercepted. Nathan Ake there with the ball. The role of John Stones is interesting actually. It's almost a hybrid role here. I'm not being able to understand the exact tasks that he's been given. Some moments is staying back, and in some moments is overlapping, is not going into the midfield. This is something new. That pass had to go to Cancelo. It did now. That is wonderful. Almost it was Cancelo. See that was the training ground ritual. Gundogan to Cancelo, Cancelo to Foden, Foden to maybe Haaland or goal. I think that was the training ground pattern. We just missing the last pass, the last side of the triangle. We're completing the triangle basically. Haven't seen Alvarez much except for his pressing, which has been fantastic. And there's some gap now. Haaland needs to be played in. Just thought maybe Haaland could have been played in, but they've chosen to play in Mahrez and just not worked out. That's good pressing again. Look at the pressing from Julian Alvarez. It's just top notch. Just reminds me of Roberto Firmino at his absolute best. And Roberto Firmino has been the best sort of false nine in the last 2, 3, 4 years. And Dortmund's breaking here. Dortmund's breaking here. Ruben Diaz 1v1 defense. Ortega does well. No, the shot did not have as much venom on it, but Ortega does well. He's looked calm in his handling as well. Diaz does well there to hold him off. Now, some fans might feel that we have to control the counters and all, but you can't, especially in the Champions League, you can't control all of the variables. That's where we have been having a pitfall. Pep changing his lineup at Porto versus Chelsea. He wanted to control everything. Against Real Madrid, for example, we wanted to control everything. I think we'll have to accept the fact, Pep will have to accept the fact, especially in the Champions League, that knockout competitions, if you control 70% of the variables, you can win. And with a packed team, you can expect 80% control 80% of the variables. So actually think that we need to accept that there will be counterattacks going. We need to accept that teams might score the goal against us as well. We just need to do our job as much we can. Dortmund are pinching the ball well. Their interceptions are very good. But Gundogan's been very, very good. His positional sense, the way he's passing, it's just pass and move, one touch passing. I would not fault you if you would have mistaken and thought that maybe David Silva is playing today. That's how Gundogan's passing today. He's almost passing like the legend David Silva there. All one touch passes. Gundogan, Rodri, Rodri, Gundogan, Foden, Cancelo. Just put the bloody ball in. Ah, good ball, very good ball, but it's just that the ball didn't reach Haaland over there. Julian Alvarez pressing again. City have turned the press on. Dortmund goalkeeper did not have anywhere to go and is giving the ball straight away to City. But then we have given the bloody ball back again. This game is just flowing well. Not many fouls, right? I think in the last 25 minutes, maybe one or two fouls. Seen that's all. Just flowing well. Ball's just not going out of play as much. Also, it's just a nice breezy game of football, I would say, between two teams who want to play with the ball, and between two teams who are not even afraid to strike each other on the counter. Vinay says no shot on target versus Dortmund's two. Yeah, Vinay, that statistic could be a bit misleading, but again, this season I think it's a little bit different because of Haaland. We don't need to have many shots on target because Haaland just needs one or two shots. So I wouldn't read much into the statistics because last season it was different with Gabriel Jesus and Sterling. You pretty much had to dominate that statistic of having 10, 12 shots a game at least if you wanted to win it. But this season, I think it's a little bit different. Erling Haaland there with the ball. That's a foul. That's a foul. That's surely a foul. I don't know why they're appealing. Okay, he's got the ball, but then his follow through was not good. He's got the ball, but his follow through was it went through Haaland. If this is not a free kick, then how come they gave free kick to Nathan Ake? I will not understand it. Riyad Mahrez there. He's the one who will be striking the free kick, I think for sure. Left footer, yeah, it's ideal for left footer. It's ideal for left footer. Difficult for Gundogan there because Mahrez could go to the far post actually, go over the ball. I think it's a perfect range for Riyad Mahrez. And I mean, what a confidence boost this would be if Mahrez can actually score from this. All of his bat form would just go out of the window. It's actually Gundogan. I thought it was very good for Mahrez, but Gundogan takes it. Cancelo. Gundogan. John Stones. Mahrez is just almost is hugging the touchline there. He's just so wide. Nathan Ake. Dortmund are pressing in a 4-4-2 now. Earlier they were doing it in a 4-3-3 sort of a system. Now they're doing it in a 4-4-2. The Dortmund player is down and it's a yellow card for Julian Alvarez. I think in the second half the game will be much more attacking from both sides because Dortmund here need to win. I think a draw will be sufficient for City. I mean, qualification of show is sure, but I think a draw will be sufficient for City to even go top of the group. I think I do not know. But, oh, this seemed like a foul, but fouls are just going in now. I mean, it was surely a tactical foul, but we had to make a tactical foul there. Otherwise, Jude Bellingham was just running through. Vinicius' lack of games affected Alvarez. Exactly how good a player is. He needs lack of game. I mean, he needs games to get for back to match sharpness. I think Pep has realized now with fixture congestion coming in that he needs sharpness from Julian Alvarez. So that's why he's starting today. Dortmund intercepting well. That's good one touch passing from Dortmund and they go on the attack. Gundo. Just give the ball forward. City have a chance to go on the break. City have a chance to go on the break here. Phil Foden. He's just held on to the ball too much there. He should have just switched it or done something. And honestly, I don't think the options either side were also great. Almost all of the attacking players were marked, so fair play to Foden there. Foden just delayed the decision. He was waiting for someone to make a quick run or something. Yeah. So fair play to Foden. Dortmund there. It's almost a 4v4 at the back. Julian Alvarez, he does well, and Gundogan can bring the ball out. Gundo, just switch it to Riyad. Riyad is in space over there. Switch it to Riyad. I think. Yeah. And Cancelo is in space, but I do think that ball has to go to Riyad Mahrez. Rodri, Gundogan, Haaland. They're just surrounding Haaland. There's nothing he can do. That is very well done. That is very well done. Erling Haaland there with a chance to shoot, but both the defenders have squeezed him. There's nothing he could do there again. Just being squeezed. Dortmund on the attack now. It's already become a sort of a basketball game now. This is exciting. Good switch. But look at the work rate Mahrez is going through. Look at the work rate Alvarez is going through. I think 4-4-2 system, one of the things is both your wingers have to work their socks off. I always thought Gabriel Jesus was the best player suited to play on the wing in the 4-4-2 system because of his work rate. Referee has played the advantage and Stefan Ortega takes it smartly, but it was a routine save. Look at Dortmund cutting through City. Vinay says miss Gabby work rate, but Vinay Alvarez has the same work rate as Gabby actually. He even has a better work rate than Gabby. It's just Pep is not playing him, that's it. His work rate is also very good. The pressing, the energy of Alvarez is just out of this world. Can sometimes think Alvarez, if I have to compare him, he almost has the energy of Bernardo Silva, which is just insane. That's what Alvarez is. Just I wish Pep gave him more game time. Dortmund again. Ken Shallow. Ah, that should have been 1-0 Dortmund. But it's not. It's again coming from Cancelo's side. Surely he's on side. It's again coming from Cancelo's side. I think, like when I pointed out, Cancelo is struggling. Cancelo is struggling big time down that left hand side. He's struggling to do both the duties of a winger and also a fullback. But honestly, that should have been 1-0. Phil Ford and Nathan Ake, Cancelo. Look at how high Cancelo is playing. I know in that instance, in that previous attack, Cancelo was just beaten for pace, but Cancelo is just in two mindsets now. It's not understanding everything completely. So the Dortmund goalkeeper has kicked long, but it's gone out. By the way, about Gabby, Arsenal fans after the match, after they draw against Southampton, some of the fans on Twitter they were writing that Gabby's finishing is Not at all good. No wonder he's just got 14 Premier League goals as his highest tally till now and all of that. We knew his finishing was not up to the mark, maybe. So I think that's the reason Pep bought on Julian Alvarez, who many people are not with me, but I think Julian Alvarez is an upgrade on Gabriel Jesus. He has the work rate and also he has that finishing skill set. Natanake there. I think we need a Kevin De Bruyne here just to unlock this Dortmund defense. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. That's a very good pass. It's just the pass had to be angled towards Erling Haaland a little bit more. It's just that was such a good opening. One touch football again. The final pass is just not coming on again. Dortmund lose the ball and again it's Haaland and it's Riyad Mahrez. Referee says not a foul, but anyway, I thought it would be a free kick rather than a penalty. But look at that passing. That's how we can open the knots of Dortmund whenever we want. Dortmund with the throw in. This game has been very pulsating. It's been very intriguing. By the means of pulsating, it's not been your end-to-end action, but it's been intriguing tactically. Both the managers are almost playing a tactical chess battle here. That's a long shot. Ortega, the shot didn't have anything in it. He's again rolled it to Natanake. I think the build-up has to be a bit more quick from the back. But I can't fault it, except for the final pass, everything has been very, very good. But maybe if the build-up is quick, they can't get back into the shape as much efficiently, and maybe there's a run by Cancelo. That's very well done. Excellent ball there, excellent ball. Has he timed the run well? I do not know. Maybe thought it was a hint of an offside, but that was just asking too much from Cancelo to do. It's a Dortmund throw, and a Dortmund player is down. I think it's Reina, and it's a head injury. Everything except the final pass has been, like a beautifully crafted painting. Pep. It's almost like what Pep has told in the training field. These people are just recreating it. It's just the final pass, and Pep more often than not he says that my job is to bring the team from our goal to the opponent's goal. The final pass, the three-fourths, the final one-fourth is their decision. So I think maybe the players are not making the final pass decision correct. Rodbreed as well. He was being chased down, but Stefan Ortega, Aked as well. Dortmund are pressing now. They haven't as much in this match, and now they're pressing. John Stones, Ruben Diaz on the ball. John Stones. Stones misses it out, and that's almost a turnover on the counter. And now it's Rodri again. We need to be careful of these turnovers. That's how we conceded the goal against Brighton as well. We're just not able to take the ball into the final half of Dortmund. It's just not happening today. Stefan Ortega again catches. I think Dortmund must have had a million shots in this half. That's how it seems, and we have not even had one. That's good covering by Ake, and he didn't get any power behind the shot. And a comfortable catch, comfortable save from Ortega. Ikai Gundogan. They're almost keeping a man on Gundogan, but it's not had any effect, at least until now. Rodri. Switch the play, switch the play. Gundogan. Ken Shallow. He's holding the width well. Diaz again. Haaland is coming in. That's not what we want. Haaland being involved in the play. Haaland has to stay up front. I think Haaland staying up front actually will create a lot more space. Phil Foden, Gundogan, no space to pass at all. Well done by Rodri to find Riyad Mahrez. He finds John Stones. Stones does extremely well to find Julian Alvarez. Gundogan, Ken Shallow. That's a good tackle from the Dortmund fullback, but Ken Shallow. Again, Cancelo, I just thought he had to put that ball in a second earlier. He just took a bit more time and the opportunity was gone. Foden, Cancelo, Ake, Rodri. That's good pressure there from the front. Dortmund give the ball away, but they're not in shape now, so we can just pass through quickly and we can cut through them. No, we're again passing back, again bloody building up. That's what has been the story of the half. John Stones, Rodri, Nathan Ake, Joao Cancelo. Joao Cancelo. That's foul. I think that's a yellow card. Adiami does the foul, but he's not given him a yellow card. I think the ref's been good actually. It's just like the game flow, so that's okay with me. It's 1 minute of added time and it's Gundogan. I would prefer the left foot of Phil Ford in there. It's Phil Foden. Ah, Diaz, I think it was who got his head to the ball and should it have been 1-0? Let us see. Vinicius Foden is inwards in this system isn't working for sure. It's almost a replica of the Jack Grealish Mahrez, the Community Shield system, right? Because even there, both of them, Grealish and Mahrez, were almost tucked inwards. They were wingers but inwards. So it's almost that Pep is trying to repeat the same system, but with sort of Mahrez and Foden here, and it's just not working. And also, it's affecting what Joao Cancelo has done, right? Just imagine if Foden just plays on the left in his usual way. That would mean Cancelo is behind in the back line, and it would bring in more stability into the back line. And also, if Foden plays in his traditional wing position, I actually think that Cancelo could step into the midfield maybe as an inverted midfielder. Stones could do the same on the other end as well. So that would create more bodies in the midfield. This is not working, I think. Rather than this, I think the inverted fullback system is better actually. Foden tucking inside, it's almost that you're again uh, putting Foden into a box. You're restricting his best qualities, which are uh, very good acceleration, taking on a man one to one, dribbling well, all of those things. You're cutting all of those things and giving Foden the additional responsibility of protecting the ball, not making a mistake since he's in the midfield now. Just give Foden a bit more freedom. That would relieve Foden. That would also unshackle Joao Cancelo. Cancelo just struggling here, struggling in a defensive sense, especially not attacking sense as much, but in a defensive sense, it's just been whenever Dortmund play the ball down that side, Joao Cancelo has always been caught up. And to add to this, we have been so predictable in this match that there's nothing coming down the right hand side wing. I mean, John Stones has just stayed back, he's come forward a bit, but generally he's been more of a defensive presence, John Stones. That means Dortmund is almost, overloading our left hand side, knowing that that is where all the bright play can happen. And how much you want to, find a needle in a haystack, you just can't pass the ball through all so many bodies. You know why we're not able to make that final pass? It's not because of a lack of quality or something. We've been excellent quality wise. It's because of the predictiveness. It's because of Dortmund knows here, by keeping Stones back and by playing Cancelo on the sort of a wing position by Foden inwards, you know that your attack is surely going to be on that left hand side. It's not going to be on the right hand side, which means Dortmund are now putting all of the players there. Almost they're playing as if the right hand side doesn't exist, and they're just overloading the left hand side. And how much ever you pass through, it's just going. When Prime Xavi can't break this. In this sort of a system, I think Pep needs to change. I don't know why he's doing it. He's done it in that Liverpool game as well, playing Cancelo in that awkward position, and is doing it today. It's surely not working. It's affecting two players, and due to this system, it's almost becoming Julian Alvarez, who's having to, come inside, who's having to drop back, and he's not doing his striker's role. In fact, Erling Haaland has needed to drop back. And if you see Erling Haaland on 3-4 occasions, I found Erling Haaland on the left hand side, What the hell is he doing? Erling Haaland is generally within the width of the goalpost, two goalposts. That is where he is generally, and I actually do not know what is happening here. Pep really needs to look at this system. It's just not working. I just think that all of these systems are an experiment. That's all. It would just be a disaster, me seeing Pep play such a formation in a quarter-final game or in a last 16 game of a Champions League. You can't write Pep out against playing this kind of formation in important games, but it's not just working. It's the primary philosophy of Pep is to put players in a system so that their best attributes can be used. But in this system, you're you're just playing against all of the best attributes of players. You're playing against attributes of Alvarez, Cancelo, Haaland, Ford, and I can tell you at least 5-6 players. You're not allowing Mahrez to cut inside. At least he needs to have the freedom to cut inside at least once or twice, right? You almost restricted Mahrez to the byline over there. I don't understand this. Every player's position in the forward line except maybe Gundogan's was against his strength. It was almost deriding the strength of the players rather than anything else. Ruben Diaz had one chance and that's all. There's not been many chances, but I won't say that this game is as bad as the first half of an Aston Villa was, or the first half of a Newcastle was, or the Community Shield, or the first half or the entire match in the Liverpool game was. No, we have been good. We have been passing well and stuff, but it's just that link up play is just becoming too much between Cancelo and Ford, and it's just becoming too predictable. I just think we have to sort that out. And Nathan Ake is another other one. I'm like, you're playing Ake in this system, and Ake is the one who's having most amount of possession actually. So it's almost like Dortmund is leaving Ake on the ball. So instead, what if you put an Aymeric Laporte over there? He can break the lines. I think the way Dortmund is set up, they want to pinch the ball and they want to hit you on the counter, but it's not like teams in the bottom of the Premier League, for example, who sit way back and hit you, they almost want to pinch the ball in that mid block, So they're leaving Ake on the ball. His passing is not as good, and they're intercepting the balls from Ake, for example, and they're trying to hit you on the break. It's almost Liverpool as not this season, but when Liverpool were at their best last year, Liverpool-esque approach where they pinch the ball very high up and hit you. It's almost Dortmund is sort of trying to do that way. Bhaiya, this is why do they slow down around half time when every time on counter? Same happened at Anfield. Exactly, Bhaiya. I do not know at all. We had a very good counter chance over there. I do not know. And the final pass has not at all been good. It's either that we have overplayed it or we have delayed it. Foden, for example, on the counter attack, he just held on to the ball too much. I think he actually thought that maybe he thought he had more time, or I don't know why, but we just could not make anything of that break. And Haaland again dropping in too much. This has to be one of the worst games from a Haaland point of view. It's been good in the midfield, but from a Haaland point of view, the positions he's taken up, it has to be one of his most frustrating, impatient, and one of his crap games he's played in the season. Mohan says Dortmund atmosphere is better than City atmosphere. That's untrue. That's untrue. But if you want to believe something, you can. You're entitled to have your own opinion, but that opinion need not always be the truth. I don't think the crowd has had too much of an impact here like the did at Anfield. It's again, for me, Pep playing Cancelo in that left. I don't even know what the bloody rule is. Pep playing Cancelo in that left wing role is what is just disturbing the balance of the system. What does he want to do? What the hell does he want to do? Does he want to play a back three to prevent the counter? Well, I think to prevent the counter, an even better way is play Cancelo in a traditional position and invert, right? That is an even better way. Why do we bloody need a back three? Because back three does two things. It puts your left back way too forward and makes us vulnerable down there. Makes us vulnerable to especially doubling down. If opponent doubles down on that side, then it's vulnerable. We are vulnerable. Cancel always has to track back. And the second one is there's no attacking impetus from that right hand side. So it tells the opponent what we are about to do. It's almost like you're showing all your cards and then starting a game of poker. It is as good as not playing the game. So Pep needs to sort it out, and it's not the first time he's doing it this season. This is the second time he's doing it this season. I don't understand what's his obsession with playing Grealish and Mahrez, and also I don't. I mean, he hasn't done it this much, but he's played it a couple of times this season. And I also don't know what's his obsession with playing people out of position, especially when you have a Sergio Gomez as well. Just give Cancelo a rest and play Sergio Gomez on that left hand side if you want. Don't know what's going through Pep's mind here. Mohan says Dortmund is known for the yellow wall. Every time City play in iconic stadiums like Anfield, Santiago Bernabeu, they tend to struggle. Baya, this is winger Cancelo is so far up the pitch, loses the ball, and then poor Ake left to handle 2 to 3 players on his own. They're just doubling down actually on that side. Cancelo can't do anything, and you cannot blame Cancelo for losing the ball over there because Cancelo has been given the duty of take on the opposite fullback. Otherwise, we are not able to open Dortmund up. It's the center is crowded. On the right hand side, Mahrez is too wide. The only outlet, the only realistic outlet that is linking the front three and the midfield is Cancelo. That's all. Mahrez is not able to link it up because it's too far wide outside. So they're doubling down on Cancelo, and it almost feels like it's a trap. Dortmund have set a trap that we'll let Cancelo get the ball and then we'll go in on him and take the ball from him. That means that Cancelo is far away up and we can hit them on the break. We can bamboozle Ake with 2 3 players. It's a tactical problem. I think it's a tactical problem. See, if we lose this game or if we draw this game or whatever we do in this game, it's on Pep. It's strange because in the last season, the season before, you might have probably one match or two matches at the most where you would say, "Oh, it's on Pep." Champions League final. In the last 4 years, maybe I can remember one two matches where Pep has taking strange decisions in big games. But this season, it's already, it's just October and already Pep has experimented in 3 games already. This game, the Copenhagen was sort of experiment. Liverpool was sort of an experiment. Community Shield was an experiment. Aston Villa first half was an experiment. Can literally count on my hands 5 games where he has experimented with different systems. Do not know what Pep is looking for actually. Do not know what he wants. Arthur says Gomez is suspended in the champion. Oh, sorry, I actually forgot. Yeah, he got a red card and is suspended. Thank you. Arthur says, I feel it's just City are lazy and just passing it quick. No, Arthur, if you are lazy, you don't hunt the ball down. If you're lazy, you don't, run back so much. Uh, help to help your defense out. Look at how much Mahrez has run back to help his defense out. Look at how many times Foden has run back. If you're lazy, you will not press so ferociously. If you're lazy, you will not do one-touch passes because that requires concentration. It's just that tactically the game is not working out. Tactically the game is something else actually. In the sense that Pep has got the shape wrong today. Pep has got the shape wrong. Look at that 4-4-2. It's just that Dortmund are outnumbering us in the midfield. They're outnumbering our two strikers up front. And also we are not used to play this system, right? So then also it becomes difficult making that final pass. Because if you play your usual 4-3-3 with little tweaks in it to suit the opponent, then it's almost like Haaland will be there. I can just pass it blindfolded. I can do this, but in this it's a new system, and in a new system you're not always sure of the movements that your striker will be making. The movements of Haaland in a 4-3-3 are different to that in a 4-4-2. Because for example, in a 4-4-2, Alvarez will be dropping in. So if you're Gundogan, for example, you'll need to make sure that you leave that space for Alvarez. You don't go into that space. So it's a lot of dynamic changes in this new system. Bayaji says Mahrez and or Alvarez out, KDB in. But Bayaji, there is another problem with this actually. If you remove Alvarez out, we need Julian Alvarez to sort of start games now because schedule is so relentless and Alvarez is too good of a player to not give him. I mean, when will you go Alvarez max sharpness then? You're clearly seeing that he's not at his sharpest best, and it's on Pep that has had him on the bench for so long, for so long. So Alvarez can't go, and Riyad Mahrez. The thing is, he's low on confidence, and Mahrez is such a player that once he gets confidence, he can just I think we will need Mahrez even now till for these 2-3 weeks also before the World Cup. We'll need Riyad Mahrez just for the experience in crunch situations. It's going nil-nil, and Mahrez in form could just open things up and he could do things. So I do think Pep has that in mind. He needs to get Mahrez back to form as soon as possible because I mean, we're just one. If Mahrez is out of form, it's almost like you're one injury away from a crisis on the white side. Who do you have? You have a Mahrez, you have Grealish, Foden, maybe Alvarez can play there, right? 4 players. Count Mahrez out of form. So it's almost like and Pep has not given much playing time to Alvarez. So it's almost like you're down to bare bones on the wing. But there are two changes here. Bernardo Silva is coming on. Manuel Akanji is coming on. I wonder for whom they're coming on. Akanji will be an interesting one. Erling Haaland is going off and Bernardo Silva is coming on. I think it's just managing the minutes of Haaland, that's it. And I think it's an astute substitution. And Akanji is coming on. It has to be in the place of Ake, I think, if I'm not wrong. But let me see. I think Akanji is on for his ball playing ability, and Bernardo Silva. This is interesting. Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Rodri. Always thought that Gundogan, Bernardo Silva make a very good midfield pair, especially when they were playing. If you remember last season, towards almost till November when KDB was injured, Bernardo Silva was bang on form. He was just banging goals left, right, and center. I think maybe he'll now play with Alvarez as the false nine, which means that he'll just try to outnumber Dortmund in the midfield. This is an interesting tactic. Does it mean that you give more freedom to Foden? That's what I hope. Vinay says Haaland out. Exactly, I think he's just managing the minutes, but it's in a way good as well. The minutes of Haaland will be managed well and he'll get some rest, and Alvarez will have the chance to play up front on his own. Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Rodri again, just switch it. Manuel Akanji is so comfortable on the ball, Manuel Akanji. Joao Cancelo, it's Riyad Mahrez actually. Ika Gundogan, look at the speed of the passing here. Now the build-up is quick as well. Build-up is very quick. Phil Foden, that's a corner. Look at it. We haven't been able to do this in the entire first half, and now we are doing it. Akanji is playing on the left hand side, I think now. No, actually, it's Nathan Ake who's playing on the left hand side. City are looking much more fluid, you see now. That is very well done. That is very well picked off. It's Phil Foden. Look at Phil Foden run. Ah, that ball was just placed behind Julian Alvarez. The game is now opened up. The game is opened up. Opened up, but City are in control. And I think Nathan Ake on the left back is actually a good move tactically as well. Now Dortmund will find it much more hard to break because Nathan Ake is very good 1v1. I maybe think in big Champions League games you have to play Nathan Ake at left back. I know Cancelo is there, but sometimes just to close out game, just to be more solid. Jack Grealish has been given instructions, I think. It's a throw in, and Dortmund, I don't know, that was such a stupid throw in. It's gone straight to the Dortmund player, but John Stones. Ah, that's a bad touch from John Stones, but he's looked lively, he's looked very sharp today. It's almost like our defense have achieved a feat by keeping the score at nil-nil because in the first half it sometimes seemed that we were just primed to concede with the way Cancelo was being caught so much high up the pitch. And that's another good tackle from Manuel Akanji. Who else? Crunching tackle. What a signing he is being. Vinay says only thing Haaland lacks is pressing. Hampers Pep style. But he'll learn, I think, Vinay. He'll actually learn. But I also think that by allowing Haaland to press more, you take out some of the parts from his game. So I don't think Pep is as much bothered with Haaland not pressing and not joining in the press and all. But then it becomes a problem sometimes when tactically the opponent is outnumbering you in the midfield and That is where it's a problem when a striker doesn't go into the midfield as a false nine. I think there are advantages and disadvantages, but mostly it's advantages and Haaland gives you goals. So lack of pressing, I think, just covers that up. When I say tactically, exactly that's what that's what the opponents are actually doing. They're filling people in the midfield, and Haaland not pressing is hindering us. Especially this match is an example actually. Sort of that Liverpool match was also example where Haaland just he sometimes tried to come into the midfield but he just couldn't hold the ball up. I think that is where Julian Alvarez really comes into play. Especially he can play that 4-4-1-1 role just behind Haaland and he can mop up everything those pressing and all when Haaland can just contribute on his job. I think in big Champions League games, I won't be surprised if Pep starts Julian Alvarez regularly since the knockout stage of the Champions League. The half has been City dominating most of the things. It's just that somehow we're not getting onto the same page. I don't know the reason for it. Dortmund on the attack here. Nathan Ake does well. Nathan Ake does extremely well over there. Ortega does well. Ortega does very well to cling on to it. Don't know what happened there to see the replay. Ake does well initially, the tackle, but Dortmund get the ball back again. He was clearly in an offside position. Anyway, Ortega gets there first, so that's fine. Chance. Phil, that was a chance. And with the goal scoring form you're in, you just needed to bury it. That was a chance, Phil. That was a chance. There's no two things about that. I mean, since 5 to 10 minutes into the game, Pep has been, even in the first half, Pep has been having rigorous starts with Rodolfo Borrell. Don't know what is about it. I think it's about the tactical things. It is something about the tactical system because in the first half, the system just wasn't working. That's a foul. That's a foul. Someone's down here. Who's the player down? It's Julian Alvarez. Is it Julian Alvarez? It's Rodri actually. Rodri is the player down. This is not good. I just hope it's not a big injury. Rodri is down here. We don't have Calvin Phillips at all. I just hope that Rodri gets back onto his feet. We just need Rodri now. Can't expect Gundogan to play in that position for all the games. Vinicius haven't had clear-cut chance, even just a poor Foden shot. And I'm just worried about Rodri also. And I just hope he's fine. Remember, Calvin Phillips is out with injury. City are pressing again now. The press is good now. It's with much more intensity. Riyad Mahrez. He just loses the ball again. Dortmund are also pressing now. It's almost like a basketball match, and there's no one there on that side for Dortmund. Foden does very well to cover it up. Otherwise, it was a free run for the Dortmund player on our left hand side. Manuel just played back to Ortega and will start from there. Ortega actually does well under pressure to pick out Ilkay Gundogan. The game is highly tactical. It's almost like two chess grandmasters are playing, but that's how big European ties generally are. It's a foul. Yes, we win the free kick. Bernardo Silva, what a ball from Bernardo Silva. This has to be 1-0. Riyad, penalty. Yes, it's a penalty. Riyad Mahrez. Now Mahrez will take it. Just pray that he'll score. Mahrez will take the penalty now. Thank for his confidence. That's a clear penalty. It was under the eyes of the ref. That was a clear penalty. Yes, he's having contact with Mahrez and that's a penalty. Riyad gets it. And now see everyone's just congratulating Riyad. Just see what let us just see what Riyad does with this. Mahrez for his confidence to get the real Riyad Mahrez back. To get the Mahrez we all loved over the previous seasons back. To get the Mahrez who has been top scoring for us in Champions Leagues over the last few years back. Riyad Mahrez with the penalty. How will it be? Let us see. Saved.